Take a very close look at this and see what it is that I'm looking at here. Reforge Gaming posts on his Twitter page a clip of himself. This is the first time I think I'm seeing this. And he says, why it's time to leave your Xbox behind. Okay, 1 minute, 8 seconds. So this is him posting it. Before I hear anything about context, I'm just going to say you put this out there.
If you're one of the people on Xbox hardware right now and you buy games and you don't do Game Pass, there's still a lot of them that do that. What, 30 million Xbox Series consoles have sold, and they only have roughly 30 million Game Pass users. About 10 million of those people are on Game Pass Core. So they're not even getting day and date. So there's 20 million. If you split that 20 million Game Pass subscriber number right down the middle, 10 million people on the Xbox hardware have Game Pass. That means 20 million, 2/3 of the Xbox console user base on Series X and S. That means they're not on Game Pass.
I don't know how we got that number. I don't know how that math came about, but here's the last data set that we had. We had Xbox Game Pass and Gold subscribers on console worldwide 2022 by service. This was put on Statista, and they basically go ahead and they break it down. 21.9 million users were on Game Pass excluding PC. And Xbox Live Gold were 11.7 million users. If anything, if we wanted to say, okay, let's be fair and let's see who got converted from Gold to Game Pass Core, we could say 50% of this number went into Game Pass, and we could say the others are core members, So basically half of this number probably went into core, into Ultimate, and the other half are just Game Pass Core. I don't know how 10 million, I don't know what's going on here.
That's a lot of people that are, I think, right now staring down the barrel of a tough choice. It's like you either stay there, and I don't think that you should, because they've shown you are not the priority, and I think they've signaled loud and clear that future hardware is not going to enter the power fight. That's
Can somebody be... I don't know how somebody can look very serious about what they're saying, yet be very unserious as to the weight of what it is has come out of their mouths. This is the biggest fomented nonsense piece of horse crap I've ever heard in my it won't be the worst I've heard in my life. It'll probably be for the day.
Not their goal. Jump to a PS5 Pro or jump to a high-end PC. This is the year to do it. This is the changing of the guard.
A PS5 Pro and a high-end PC would be what this homie is equating as what will give you similar value. I was watching Dark 1985's video just earlier today where he was talking about how, the Xbox is the worst place to play Xbox games and such. And it was a little funny. I may do a kind of an analysis video on it very soon. I don't know if I have the time to. But I've got to say, man, Xbox gamers have finally shunned a lot of people who I think have, bad faith arguments. Many of them lies. I don't know where they're getting them from. I just showed you numbers. I don't know where the heck homie got 10 million Game Pass. I don't know where he got that from. Maybe he made a mistake. Okay, let's just call it a mistake, right? And then they also have to deal with people who, in one way or the other, have to, in a sense, fashion everything to be some kind of a loss for Xbox and a win for them in their mind somewhere. This thing has become almost at the level of, let's do this again. Let me listen very carefully before I finally draw conclusions on this 1 minute clip that he has provided.
If you're one of the people on Xbox hardware right now and you buy games and you don't do Game Pass, there's still a lot of them that do that.
Okay, so he's talking to people who are Xbox users that don't subscribe to Game Pass.
What, 30 million Xbox Series consoles have sold, and they only have roughly 30 million Game Pass users, about 10 million of those people are on Game Pass Core. So
about 10 million of those people are on Game Pass Core. Where did he get that number from? Because Xbox Live Gold that got converted to Game Pass would have probably seen some of these numbers, even if it was 20 people, right? Or even if we say 10 million of them remained on Game Pass Core, what happened to the 1.7 million? They would have gone to the other Game Pass tier on the console. He's not even looking at the statistics and the data to see that there's already an established 21.9, almost 22 million Game Pass users. What the heck is this cat talking about?
they're not even getting day and date. So there's 20 million. If you split that 20 million Game Pass subscriber number right down the middle, 10 million people on the Xbox hardware have Game Pass.
What is this dude talking about? If you split it in half and I still gave you that, it would still be 15-ish million. Which it's not, but it would still be, because the total outside of PC as of 2022, published in 2023, about 2 years ago almost, is still a total of 33 million. Doc made this video where he said PC gamers are the ones that are defending Xbox right now. Doc, I know why. It's because these so-called PlayStation commentators have lost their freaking minds. That's why. That they can just cold-face look at a camera in front of people and just say something so outlandish when there is all manner, all measure of data surrounding it. Right? It's amazing to me how they can do that. Doc, you just got a PC right at the cusp of Game Pass changing its own paradigm. So I've been a Game Pass PC user longer, and I can tell you that Ultimate and regular Game Pass, the difference in terms of the distinctives were absolutely very interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like Ultimate and just regular Game Pass that you could get for console. The difference that it didn't afford you were just a few perks. You were getting games day one back then. This is why Game Pass has always been a strong proposition, if you get what I mean. It's because of this. This is why PC gamers looked and said, what is wrong with these PlayStation fanboys, bro? Like, what is wrong with these people?
That means 20 million, 2/3 of the Xbox console user base on Series X and S. That means they're not on Game Pass.
Dude just waved his right hand and concluded that data is not relevant. You see the wave of the right hand? This is magic.
It means they're not on Game Pass.
Look at this. This is magic. 20 million, boom, wave your right hand and just wham. 20 million people.
That's a lot of people that are, I think, right now staring down the barrel of a tough choice. It's like you either stay there, and I don't think that you should.
Woo, what is this dude talking about? Oh my goodness. Staring down the barrel of possibly playing the games for $10 and getting Game Pass? Or going to spend $700 and buying a PS5 Pro to then spend $70 to play the game maybe a year later, maybe months later? What a tough choice.
Because they've shown you are not the priority, and I think they've signaled loud and clear that future hardware is not going to enter the power fight.
You are not the priority. Is that right? Is that right? You, who has the option to play Xbox games with more options afforded to you, you are not the priority. Why should anybody believe this framework? He's not the only one making this framework. He just happens to be the one person that's saying it on video that presented it to us in public. There are many people across the conversation in the comment section and so on and so forth that are constantly talking this nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. This will get fried in any kind of debate that has any logical framework to it. Sit two people down with a little bit of common sense, put a moderator. This person is going to tuck their tail and run home because their argument holds no sensibility to it. None at all. Would the same thing not be said about the PlayStation player who, as he recommends here, let's go ahead and destroy the argument once and for all. Let's just say this thing crash around. Let's just listen.
It's not their goal. Jump to a PS5 Pro or jump to a high-end PC.
Would the argument not be also had for the PlayStation 5 Pro, where you can get a high-end PC with better value, access to more games, old games, and have the possibility of being able to modify the hardware without being saddled with the cost of subscriptions? Oh, can you imagine making an argument in 1 minute that is, number one, poor, tries to evade data, and then destroying your argument at the end, all in a minute? This is pure skill.
This is the year to do it. This is the changing of the guard.
Oh. See, I think some Xbox gamers consume this kind of content. I mean, if they're PlayStation fanboys and they're consuming this kind of content, there's nothing I can tell you. I think some Xbox gamers, you are consuming this dross. You are listening to these folk. Some of them come in different forms of fashion. Some of you will say, well, I don't watch Reforge, but you go watch somebody else that makes a video where they cut it and then they clip it and then they put some tags and some pictures and some video clips and some numbers and some shiny and some whatever. And then say, well, he seems to have a point. Let me tell you something. Truth some days can come from a freaking kitty cat. Doesn't matter if they have a microphone or a video. Meow can tell years of truth that some folk can sit on a microphone, have data in front of them, have evidence in front of them, and it will still miss them. Yet the meow of a kitty, and I do not like cats, by the way, but my goodness, those cats, they'll tell the truth faster than some of these folk. Keep listening to them at your own brain mushiness. Oh, goodness. Peace out.